Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time today. I really appreciate it.
Likewise, thank you for taking the time to talk about the
Yeah.
show, write about the show. That means a lot to us.
I mean, I'm clearly I love the show. I think it's fantastic. Fans everywhere really responded to it. What was that like when, reviews and discussions around season 1 started rolling out?
I mean, it was great. It was amazing. I thought, I was hoping we were making a good show, but sometimes you get your head so into it that you don't know at the end of the day. Obviously everybody's trying their best. We're trying to make the best possible show we can. But when you're watching an episode for, I don't know, the 30th time when I'm making it, I'm like, I hope it's good. I don't know anymore because I've seen all the dialogue, over and over again. I've written it. I'm like, so you lose a little bit of context. So you don't know. You never know when before you release the show how it's going to be responded. I was hoping that we would have a great small audience of comic book fans and like geeks, and we would be this kind of cool niche show. And it kind of exploded much bigger than that, which was it took everybody by surprise. So it's wonderful. I just love the fact that people enjoy the show, that people think, people connect with the characters and the emotions we're trying to get across. That means the world to me. Because we're doing this for an audience, and it's so when we get that kind of response back, it's the best feeling in the world. And also, it lets us do it again. It lets us do more. It convinces Amazon that okay, this is great. The show's going well. You get another season. I mean, you
Another
know how this
two.
works. If you, yeah, get two more seasons. Yeah, if you don't have an audience, you don't get more seasons, right? So, just as long as we get to keep on making it, that will be the best thing ever for me.
I mean, listen, I'm in. I love how, because I read the comics. So I love how I feel like I don't exactly know where things are going. I mean, that first episode, I was like, oh, we're here already. Okay,
Right.
let's dive into it. So what's it like kind of deciding how to adapt the comic, timeline wise, and what makes it, what doesn't, what changes?
Yeah. So what usually happens is I go over to Robert's house and we spend a couple days early on, and we have the books with us, and we both read them, multiple times. And we sit down and we sort of being like, okay, well, we know where the season starts because the book is sequential, so we're starting about here. You read through the books, and we both have ideas. We're like, you know what? This feels like a great place. This feels like a natural place to wrap a season up. There's just dramatic ebbs and flows through the material and big events that happen that feel like they want to be naturally either like in a mid-season place or the end of a season or the start of a season. So we find those spots, and then so you have the start of the season, and you have this sort of like the anchor at the end of the season,
Mhm.
and then we have 15 issues, 20 issues, whatever number of issues in between that we then start to place things in the different episodes. Because we know we're doing 8 hours, so we know episode one is going to be the start. It's going to cover this material. We know the last episode is going to cover this material. We start to place things, and sometimes you move things around. What you thought was going to be in the middle of the season. Actually, you know what? That works better an episode further, or
Mhm.
episode later, or an episode earlier. And we start to rough it together, and you're moving stuff around. And this takes a couple days, just doing this, and then we have a rough shape for the season. And then that's what we take into the writer's room for the show,
Mhm.
and all of our writing team helps us flesh it out even further. So that's kind of the process. Then that's how we do it. I mean, every show does it a little differently, but that's what works for us.
Yeah. And so with the way this season is working, what was the thought process behind doing two parts? Was it just there was no way it was going to be done and ready? Or is there, because it does feel like this is a great place to end. I don't want to give
Yeah.
spoilers, but you're like, oh, this feels like you're going to make us sit on it for a while. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, without getting into there's multiple reasons to split the season. Lots of different reasons, and it was a discussion between us and Amazon with Robert and everybody and Skybound talking about it. That it just felt due to lots of constraints about how the show was getting made and just COVID and everything else that splitting it would lead to the best experience for the audience. Because ultimately, that's what we care about is like how can we get the show to the audience in the best possible way. We don't want to compromise in quality. We don't want to rush things out, but at the same time, we don't want to make people wait longer than they have to. So, a while back, we decided that, like, you know what? Why don't we just split it in two? Other shows have done it. I think The Witcher this season did that too. They split a season in two. I think going forwards, the idea is we're going to give you the full season, not to binge. Like, I really prefer the weekly release myself.
Mhm.
But you won't have to wait. We're not, it's not the plan isn't to split every season.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, because we did wait a very long time between
I know,
season
I'm
one
sorry,
and two.
so sorry. I'm
I
sorry.
was like, is this ever coming? Don't do
I
this
know,
to me.
trust me, I feel the same way. I'm like, is this ever coming out? Oh my God, we've been working on it for so long.
Well, it's fantastic though. And there's so many new cast members, new voices. Were there any that you were like super excited to get? I mean, they're all amazing, but any that you were like, yeah, it's like a pie in the sky.
I mean, all of them are incredible. I'm so like our cast is a dream. Everybody is incredible. Everyone's lovely. Everyone's great to work with and just gives us all they have in the booth. So I can't say enough good things about our cast. And I hope the strike resolves soon. So I support them 100% on the SAG strike. I'm wearing my SAG shirt.
Yes.
So I hope that works out. They get it resolved well for them. I without popping too many people out. I just can't wait for people to see what Sterling brings to the show. Sterling K. Brown as Angstrom, and I only pop him out obviously because he's a big villain, a big new character across the season that you're going to see. So I think, yeah, I can't wait because I've enjoyed it now for like a while. I want other people to enjoy his performance in the show, and I think they're going to find it amazing. But also, like Ben Schwartz is incredible. Jay Farrell is incredible. Scoot McNairy, like are all everyone's incredible. I'm not picking a favorite. Everyone's amazing.
I know it is hard. It's so exciting. I agree. Sterling K. Brown is so good. I love a villain personally.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is why like Omni-Man is for me such a good villain. Quick question. How did you feel when they brought him into Mortal Kombat? That's pretty cool.
Oh my God, it's incredible. Are you kidding? That trailer they cut is phenomenal. And also, well, the thing, like those guys, so for us, I mean, like what we try to deliver for the fans is like we want to show you guys that we love this material as much as our audience does. So if you're a big superhero fan, so are we. And we want to respect that. And it felt like that was the same relationship with Netherworlds and like the Mortal Kombat team because they took so many moves from the show. They obviously took their inspiration from the show. Like he grabs him by the spine in one of the shots, just like Omni-Man does Donald in the show, and then like the subway train. So, and it looks great. Like their Omni-Man is awesome in the sound, and obviously JK came back into the voice. So to me, it was a delight. It was like Christmas in October, I guess, or whatever. No, those guys did such a fantastic job. I'm so happy. It's amazing. I can't wait to play it,
Oh,
to
I
play
know.
him. So yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
so great.
it's so cool. I was so excited when I saw that he was joining. I was like, yes, because I love that game. And
Yeah.
obviously I love Invincible. So I was like, this is gonna be so much fun. One of the things I do love about this show so much is it really pushes the envelope with like gore. And then now they're even like they talk about sex in this season a little bit. I'll say that. So like, what is it like finding the balance to not go, you think, like too far, but giving fans that like awesome gore and
Yeah, again, I think we just try not to be gratuitous about it, right? Like, we talk about sex, we have sex scenes and stuff like that because that's naturally what would happen in that scenario. Like that's where the characters are going. And it's the same way for our violence, right? If you have two incredibly superpowered individuals fighting in a city, there's gonna be blood, there's gonna be violence, people are gonna die. Like we just show you the repercussion, like the ramifications of having superpowers in a grounded world. We do kind of like plus it a little bit. We give you a little more blood, a little more gore, and make things a little extra, for fun, for entertainment value. But it's not. I can promise you, we never sit down and be like, okay, we need some big gory event here. That never happens. We're more like, okay, well, this is the part where like, there's a huge fight here between Mark and this other character, and they're both super strong, and it's happening in petting zoo. Obviously, there's going to be destroyed animals everywhere. Like it's just going to happen. But we don't ever start from the other end. We start
yeah.
from the characters, the story, the plot, and then we're like, okay, well, if we are going to have a fight in a petting zoo, well, you're going to see, you know, a lot of baby animals being. We don't do that. There's no petting zoo fights. I promise you.
How fun is it to come up where you're gonna stick the Invincible title shot? Because those are some of my favorite moments of these episodes.
Yeah, that's always fun. I mean, that's Robert loves that. So that's one of his big delights is like figuring out what we're going to do, what we're going to say, where it's going to come. Sometimes, it's really early. Sometimes it's like crazy late in the episode. We're just trying to, we walk a fine line on the show, I think, because obviously we're very dramatic, we're very serious in a lot of places, but also we try to have some fun where we can and have a little bit of lightness because grimness all the time is just, hard to endure. So that's one place where we can have a little bit of fun. So we figured that out, and they move around sometimes in the scripts. Sometimes we write the first drafts of the scripts and we don't put it in yet. And then because we want to have a little bit of flexibility, because we're like, okay, well, last episode we did this. We got to do something new for this episode. So what about if we move it? Oh, here's a good spot, and we find a spot to stick it in. So yeah, but it's super fun. It's like how many ways can we get to that word that we haven't used before? I mean, maybe we'll run out eventually, but we haven't yet.
No, they're so great. And then, I'm not gonna. There's the different one.
There's a different one.
There's a different one. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. That was
Yes.
great. I started cracking up. I was like, this is amazing. This is so perfect. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. I loved these first 4 episodes. I can't wait for more. And just congratulations. It's such a good show. And
thank you, Tessa. And thank you so much. Also, we appreciate the crew and the show, appreciate people like you who love the show and write about the show, because that just helps us get to do more, to make more. So we appreciate that. And yeah, thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, thank you. And yes, more. I'm
working on it soon.
Gotta get to the end there. Gotta get to the end there. So
we're never going to make you wait as long again. I promise.
Yeah, please don't, because that was brutal.
Yes.
Thank you.